I have a knife at your neck. Don't move. Don't say a word. I'll kill you, or I'll kill your entire family. These were the words that my daughter Elizabeth heard from Brian David Mitchell. Brian Mitchell cut the screen, got into our house, went upstairs to Elizabeth's bedroom, and grabbed her and held her at knife point. At this point, Elizabeth didn't know what to think other than she had to do what she had to do, because it wasn't just her life on the line, it was our entire family's. Elizabeth was taken from our house back up into the mountains, where at one point she stopped and she said, if you're going to kill me now so that my parents can find me. He said, no, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to take you up into the mountains. And they wound up around the mountains, up onto the top, came down over, and came into a camp. There Elizabeth was welcomed by a woman, and Elizabeth thought, who is this? And this woman just embraced her and took her into this tent and started trying to undress her. And Elizabeth was a very, very modest young woman, and she said, I can undress myself. And she said, well, I need to help you. And she says, no, I'm fine. Well, I need to wash you. And needless to say, the bottom line came down to that the next words she remembered hearing was, I pronounce you man and wife. And she proceeded to be raped. This went on for a number of days, and Elizabeth felt like she was the dirt on the ground. She felt broken. She felt, who would love me? Who would care about me? And these things went through her mind, and she thought, I know that my family loves me. I know that they care about me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive. Now, sometimes you'll hear about these episodes of different people, and it is at this moment that they change from a victim to a survivor. This does not come easily, and it doesn't come without criticism. And when I say criticism, comments are made, well, why didn't she get away? They chose that life. What do those things mean to you, and what do you think you would feel if you were in this position? During the course of Elizabeth's 9-month ordeal in our families, we learned a lot about exploitation. We learned what it felt like to have a daughter missing, not knowing what she was going through, not knowing if we would ever see her again. There's this industry out there called modern-day slavery. There are over 2 million that are involved in sex slavery. There are over 27 million that are involved in some form of slavery. As Elizabeth survived, she learned that there were certain things that Brian Mitchell wanted her to do. Many of them were against her will, against her belief. There are many out there similar in Elizabeth's case. I've met a number of them, Tina, Carlita, Norma. These are women who have been trafficked. These women did not choose to become trafficked. And we talk about the words prostitution, and many people would say, well, they chose for that to happen to them. They did not choose to have that happen to them. I haven't met one of them yet that chose that to happen. Carlita was a young girl. She was one in which a boy showed up, started showing her attention. And this attention resulted in her leaving her family. Did she know what was going to happen? Did she know that she was going to be thrown out on the street? No, she didn't. In Elizabeth's case, Elizabeth understood that there were certain things that happen out there, certain manipulations that occur. When there's a predator out there, he looks for one thing initially. That is their vulnerability. And he takes that, he uses manipulation, coercion, control, and takes that to the nth degree. He knows exactly what to say. So if I could have you take something away with you tonight, when you see an adult or an older person starting to shower attention, gifts, and persuading your child that they are so important to them, there should be a red light going on saying, hey, watch it. This person is up to something. Understanding that line in the sand is critical. Many children don't understand that it's not any one person, it's not this person here, this person, or my wife right here, but it is a behavior that we need to become aware of. One of the programs that I've worked on over the past few years is a program called RAD Kids. It stands for Resist Aggression Defensively. In that program, it teaches 3 specific things. 1, nobody has the right to hurt you because you are special. 2, you don't have the right to hurt anyone else because they're special too, but you do have the right to stop them from being hurt. 3, it's not your fault and it's okay to tell someone. Telling is so important. The day Elizabeth came home was one of miracles. I remember it started off with this article in the paper where my brother was quoted as saying the police are trying to cover their backside, and I wasn't too happy about that. It followed by my wife receiving a call from an officer that I'd worked with for 9 months. The officer said, "Can I speak to Ed?" She handed me the phone. He said, "Ed, I want you to get out to the Sandy Police Department as quickly as possible. Don't stop. Don't talk to anyone. Just get out there." As I headed out there, our publicist called me and said, "Ed, where are you? You're supposed to be at this press conference." And I said, "I'm headed out to the Sandy Police Department." He shortly called me back and he says, "Ed, they think they found Elizabeth." As I got out there, I went into the building and there was a lineup of officers there. They all congratulated and wished me best, and I turned the corner and there was the door. The officer I'd worked with for 9 months said, "Ed, we really think that we found Elizabeth." As I opened that door, there over on the sofa sat this young woman. It wasn't the 14-year-old that left 9 months ago, but I thought it had to be her. And I ran over there and I grabbed her and held her in my arms and started crying and thinking, how could we be so fortunate to have Elizabeth come home? There was still this lack of emotion, this disconnect, and I felt like it was Mitchell's last grasp on Elizabeth to manipulate her. During those 9 months, Elizabeth knew that if she didn't comply with what he said, he would kill her. It was stronger than handcuffs, stronger than chains, and it held her in his grasp. This is the same type of manipulation that happens out there with these trafficked victims. I want all of you to join me as abolitionists. We all have to fight back. We have to help our children understand and define that line in the sand, that if somebody crosses over that, it doesn't matter who it is, but we must stop them. I would ask you to join me and all become abolitionists. You can learn more at operationundergroundrailroad.org. Thank you.